Okay, so listen, this story absolutely blew my mind when I first heard about it, and honestly, I'm still processing how wild this entire situation is. But before we dive in, you need to understand that this isn't just another drama story. This is about someone who made a choice that haunted them for years, and now the internet is split right down the middle on whether she deserves forgiveness or not. So buckle up because this gets intense. Britney Miller, a UK-based TikToker with over 3.5 million followers, just dropped a confession that nobody saw coming. And trust me when I say the fallout from this is absolutely massive right now. For those of you who don't know her, Britney built her entire platform on being super relatable, posting content about food, shopping, family life, just everyday stuff that people connect with. And for the longest time, she seemed like the girl next door type of creator. You know what I mean? But here's where things get absolutely crazy. Allegations started surfacing that she faked having cancer back when she was 21 years old, and people have been demanding she address this for a while now. So the question everyone's asking is, did she actually do it? Well, spoiler alert, she admitted it, but the story behind why she did it is way more complicated than you might think, and honestly, it's going to make you question how you feel about the whole situation. The allegations first started making rounds when people discovered an old fundraiser online. Like screenshots were being shared everywhere, and this fundraiser claimed Britney had cancer and people had donated money to it, which immediately raised red flags because Britney had never once mentioned having cancer in any of her content. People started digging through her old posts, trying to piece together timelines, looking for any mention of hospital visits or treatments, and nothing was adding up at all. So naturally, the internet went into full detective mode. Some people were like, okay, maybe it's just private and she doesn't want to talk about it, which is totally fair and valid. But others felt like something was seriously off here, especially as her platform kept growing and she continued posting like nothing had ever happened, completely ignoring this massive elephant in the room. The story really exploded at the beginning of this month when The Sun published an article with the headline asking if she had no shame, calling her a desperate influencer who faked cancer for likes, and painting her entire career as basically a sham built on lies, which is pretty harsh if you ask me. According to their reporting, back in 2017, Britney falsely claimed she had stage 3 gastric cancer, which is incredibly serious, by the way, and this led to a Just Giving fundraiser that was allegedly shared by her friends. But here's where it gets messier. The Sun reported that one of her former friends claimed Britney herself had actually set up the fundraiser and then pushed others to share it around, making it seem like her friends did it out of concern, when really she was allegedly behind the whole thing. She apparently told people she was going through hospital treatments like radiotherapy, which obviously made the story more believable because that's a real treatment that real cancer patients go through, so people had no reason to doubt her at the time. The truth started coming out in 2020 when someone who had known Britney for years came forward and exposed her, saying she had completely faked her cancer diagnosis. And this was really the first time most people heard about any of this. Like, wait, what? There were also rumors floating around that there had been an investigation and that she was charged with fraud and had to pay compensation, but the BBC reported they couldn't actually confirm she was convicted of fraud, though they did note that an investigation into the incident had ended, so the legal details are kind of murky. Then, in September 2023, an anonymous user started posting details about the fake cancer diagnosis on TikTok, showing screenshots of alleged text messages and the fundraiser page, and with the Sun article coming out, all of this resurfaced and people were demanding answers, like right now. This week, Britney finally posted a TikTok where she confessed to the whole thing. And I'm not gonna lie, watching her breakdown was pretty intense, but here's what she said. Back in 2017, she told someone in her life that she had cancer even though she didn't. And this wasn't some calculated social media stunt because she wasn't even big online yet. She was just at an incredibly low point in her life. She had lost her job, was dealing with a breakup, and according to her, she was struggling with severe depression and even having thoughts of self-harm, which is obviously really serious and heartbreaking. In her video, she explained that there were lots of things happening that year that led to her being mentally unwell, and she said something to someone in her immediate circle in confidence, calling it one stupid sentence that she deeply regrets, and that sentence was claiming she had cancer. She emphasized that she didn't do this with malicious intent or to scam people, but out of desperation because she wanted to keep the people close to her from leaving her life. And while she doesn't condone what she did, she says she understands why she did it now and has learned from that massive mistake. About the fundraiser specifically, she claims it wasn't the scam everyone's painting it as, explaining that after she told some people, they told others, who then created a fundraiser on her behalf without her setting it up. And she insists she never took a single dollar from that page and had it shut down as soon as she saw donations coming in. She said there were only 2 donations before she shut it down, and this wasn't some long-running manipulative scheme like people are making it out to be. At least that's her version of events. Britney wants everyone to know she's not the same person she was back then, and she apologized to anyone upset or triggered by the situation, saying she's grown tremendously and has been working on becoming the best version of herself. She explained it took her a long time to understand why she did what she did, and she's forgiven herself because she recognizes she was mentally ill at the time, which is a point that's gotten a lot of pushback from people, by the way. She also clarified she wasn't on social media at the time, so this had nothing to do with getting likes or followers. This was years before she even had a platform. And she knows how horrible cancer is and how much it affects people and their families, which is why she's so deeply sorry. Throughout her videos, she kept emphasizing that she wants to be a mental health advocate now, that she wants to help people because she knows what it's like to be in that dark place. And she's incredibly thankful to those who have supported her and still believed in her even before knowing her full truth. She said if she could go back and change what she did, she would in a heartbeat, calling it one stupid sentence from almost a decade ago that she's learned so much from, and she's grateful for everyone who stuck by her through this. In a follow-up video, she addressed more concerns because people still had questions, mainly emphasizing that she never said what she said to scam people for money, which was a major misconception, and there was no malicious intent whatsoever. She repeated that she said it out of pure desperation to keep people in her life, told it to someone in her immediate circle, and never wanted it to leave that circle because there was no thought process behind it, just pure emotional desperation. She acknowledged that, yes, there was a fundraising page made on her behalf, which she knew about, and she admits guilt for enabling it by not shutting it down immediately, but as soon as donations were made, she had the page taken down because that's not why she said what she said. People also criticized her for saying she forgave herself in the original video, calling it arrogant. So she explained she didn't mean it that way and wanted to clarify her intentions behind that statement. She also pushed back against accusations that she's using mental health as an excuse, saying mental health isn't her excuse, but it's her reason, because no one in their right frame of mind would claim they have cancer unless they had malicious intent. She did it because she desperately wanted people around her, and it took her a long time to understand why she made that choice. But no mentally well person would do something like that. You reach these desperate lengths when you're at your lowest. Since posting her confession, she's received messages from people struggling with their mental health who understand why she did what she did because they're going through similar struggles. And she feels grateful they feel comfortable talking to her and wants to be there for them moving forward. The comment sections on her videos have been absolutely all over the place, with some people wanting to give her grace since she admitted everything and seems genuinely remorseful, while others are absolutely not having it at all and think this is unforgivable. Some people are like, what else do you want from her? She confessed and apologized. But others feel like faking cancer is such a serious thing that no amount of mental health struggles can justify it. And honestly, I can see both sides of this argument. When I first heard about this story, I was shocked, like my jaw literally dropped. And when I saw her crying in that TikTok, I had a feeling she was about to admit she did it, and sure enough, she did. So now we're all left trying to figure out where we stand on this. Personally, and this is just my opinion, I think mental health struggles are incredibly real and can make people do things they wouldn't normally do. But I also understand why people who've been affected by cancer or lost loved ones to cancer are incredibly hurt and angry about this, because cancer isn't something you lie about lightly. It's a situation where there's no easy answer, no clear right or wrong response, just a really complicated human story about someone who made a terrible mistake during the worst time of their life and is now facing the consequences years later. The internet loves a redemption arc, but it also loves to hold people accountable. So Britney's going to have to prove through her actions moving forward that she's truly changed and that her advocacy for mental health is genuine, not just damage control. What makes this even more complex is the question of whether we should give people second chances when they've done something this serious, and whether mental illness can be a valid explanation without being an excuse, which are conversations we need to have as a society, honestly. I think the fundraiser aspect is what makes people the angriest, because even if she didn't set it up herself, she knew about it and let it exist for a period of time before shutting it down, which crosses the line from personal lie to potential fraud in people's eyes. But she claims only 2 donations were made and she took no money, which if true does change the severity somewhat, though lying about cancer at all is still obviously wrong regardless of financial gain. The fact that this happened before she was famous is important context because it shows this wasn't about clout or building a platform, it was a personal crisis that spiraled. But that doesn't erase the harm it caused to the people who believed her and donated. Moving forward, Britney's career is going to be defined by how she handles this, whether she actually does the mental health advocacy work she's promising, or if this just fades into the background, and whether her audience decides to forgive her or not. Some creators have come back